So it seems like Lenovo do not take a break, because over the Christmas and New Year period, there's been a lot of updates on the Legion Go 2, and I want to just go through kind of everything. So the first one that you might have seen is the forced update of Legion Space. Now this just literally came up when Legion Space opened and said, right, there's a massive update. It was like 500 megabytes or something. And what they've effectively done is got it ready for full screen experience. Now I've already installed Xbox full screen experience on my Legion Go 2. There's videos on the channel on how to do that with 2 different methods as well. But now we actually have shortcuts and stuff kind of that work for it. So previously what I'd done is I rebound this button down here to be Windows and Tab to get the switcher, right? This, to get that there. There was no other way of doing it effectively. And then this one just here, I'd rebound for Windows plus G for game bar. Now things are a little bit different, because watch this. I could press the R menu button and press and hold it. Hey, and now we've got the carousel. So that is newly added. Not only that though, if I press this, obviously it brings up the side menu as normal. Now there's a couple of things here. If we go down to the quick settings, we now have right in the bottom corner, Windows FSE. So I can kind of go in and out of Windows full screen experience, like enable it or disable it with that shortcut. But that's not all. They have actually added a game bar submenu. So what we need to do is go into controllers just here, and then I'm going to go to button mapping. And now down here we have function shortcut, and we can see the R button on the right there is set to the R menu. But if I go down and press game bar instead, and back out of that, when I press this, it now opens game bar with their own Legion Space section. Now this is really basic, and if I'm honest, it kind of sucks because it's one or the other. So you either have this, the Legion Space section just here in game bar, which is okay. What you get is the thermal modes, so the power profiles, you've got quiet, balance, performance. If you go down to customize settings up here, you can't actually do it here, just open Legion Space separately, right? And then here we've got controller vibration. I never change that anyway. Lighting effects, I never change that anyway. Enable touchscreen, that I do use, so that is actually handy. And then control or console key mapping, right, just brings you again back to the main Legion Space. But it eradicates your R menu. So it's one or the other. You can either have it as game bar, right, or the R menu. So I'll show you what I recommend instead is going to function, going to the short press there, game bar, and doing R menu, right, so that now I have full control. I can still do all this, right? But if I back out of this and let's say go to the Xbox app, right, what I've done, like I said before, is I've bound Windows plus G to this button, and now I actually have game bar. And then I can just go across to the Legion Space. And if I don't want that, I can press this one. And now I still have full control over absolutely everything in the R menu, because this is way more in depth than this, right? This is like really, really basic. You can't really do anything there. So I recommend just doing Windows plus G on this one, which just brings up your game bar, and then you've still got access to this. And if you press and hold the R button, then of course you've got the carousel section just here. So it's kind of best of both worlds. The thing that they kind of missed a trick on, if I go back to Legion Space and go to the function shortcuts, is they only let you customize the R button. That's it, between those two. It's kind of annoying, right? Because I would have liked to be able to set Xbox game bar or just the Xbox button to anything. So like the left one that opens Legion Space, I don't need that. Let me have that as the game bar button, right? Rather than having to bind this one. Kind of annoying. And the same with if I go to Xbox button, it doesn't let you just bind it to one button. You must combine it. So whilst this one's like grayed out, like nullified, right? Because I haven't chosen anything to be there, you can't unassign this one. There's no like remove, right? It just forces you to do a combination of either the left or the right buttons or any of the back paddles and stuff, right? plus another button. I don't want 2 buttons, I want 1 button. So that's kind of annoying. Like, they missed a trick just there. But, you know, you can go through and change all this stuff. That's really cool. But I just kind of wish that they let you change the L and the R button to more configurations, because I feel like that would have been better. But whatever, like, that's fine. At least we've got the press and hold for the Switch here, so that I can then rebind this to something else. I've actually got this assigned to the Adrenaline app for AMD. So if I go to like here, for example, I'm still in Xbox full screen experience, but if I press this button down there, boom, there we go. Now I've opened up the actual AMD Adrenaline like software, and I can go in here and tinker whatever I want. I can press and hold this, come back to the carousel, which is really, really cool. So I feel like they got half of the way there, like, you know, having a bit of options there, even though the only thing really in this I'm actually going to use is enable touchscreen. You can't even use the custom profile section in this thermal mode, which is kind of annoying. Like, it's just weak, in my opinion. So Lenovo, do better with this, please, because I just feel like that could have been way more in depth like this, or being able to have both at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Kind of annoying, but whatever. That's not all they've done. And now we've gone to the Lenovo support website just here, right? And this is where we're going to find our drivers. And what they've done is a critical update. So what I've done is gone to drivers and software. I've just left everything blank, and I've gone to software and utilities just here, right? And you'll go down and you'll see critical just here for Lenovo MFG stat log clean. Now this is just basically cleaning up some sort of file that was potentially being hacked or something, like that was left in the C drive from the original install of Windows version that they used on these devices. So I just recommend literally just going here, downloading the Lenovo MFG stat log clean, download it, run that, and then just delete the file from your downloads folder, and then that's done, right? But if we go back to the main driver list just here, and I click on release date and go to the past 30 days, you'll now see there's loads of stuff just here. We've got like audio ones, and they're all dated the 31st of December, right? So we've got BIOS ones, we've got like Bluetooth, and we've got card readers and all sorts of stuff. There's even a new VGA driver, right? So a graphics card driver. But there's one thing that's kind of annoying about this, right? So if I go back to Legion Space and we go to settings and then drivers and check for updates, it doesn't find anything. So the theory here is that Lenovo were doing some sort of maintenance on the support website, and they just kind of messed it up. And they've changed the dates for some of those drivers, because a lot of people on Reddit were having issues with a lot of these updates, and other people were actually saying that they checked the version numbers and they actually were already installed. So it just seems like they kind of messed this section up with the new updates. So I've not actually personally gone and downloaded these, because I saw people with issues trying to install all these new updates, right? And I didn't want to go through that. So I was like, nah, I'm just going to wait. Apparently there was a couple of things that were new, like I think it was, what was it? It was something like the fingerprint reader or something was actually a new one. But you know what? I'm going to leave this put. I'm not going to install these updates. I'm going to just wait for either others to confirm, Lenovo to update it and actually say something about it, or for it to actually just fly through the Legion space just here. So make sure you get that critical one that I just told you about, but the rest of them, yeah, it's up to you if you want to try and install them or not. I'm not going to do that. Now, the last update is, of course, we've all been hearing rumors and stuff about a SteamOS version of the Legion Go 2. Now, there seems to be some updates on that from different regions. So video cards have actually shown that there's some sort of images and stuff saying the Lenovo Legion Go 2 listing now mentions SteamOS support, and it shows Xbox and SteamOS support. So what's meaning by Xbox is, of course, Windows 11 with Xbox full screen experience and SteamOS as well. Now, what's pretty cool about this, of course, is it's exactly the same unit. Like, everything is the same, and it looks like they're not even going to ship two versions like the Lenovo Legion Go S. It looks like they're just going to ship the one Legion Go 2 and give you the option of installing SteamOS or Windows 11. Now, I'm not too sure how that's going to work, because it should be theoretically cheaper to buy a specific dedicated SteamOS version because they're not having to pay for the Windows license, right, and charge you for that. But I don't know how it's going to work. I reckon, and it seems like video cards seem to think, that they'll just give you an option in the support section of what we were looking at a minute ago for the updates that will just have like a SteamOS download there so that you can just download it and flash it on. Maybe we'll be able to dual boot from that, not natively, but if we do it ourselves, right, we can use that file and then use that to dual boot. But that's really good because I've been waiting and wanting to dual boot SteamOS, but I know about the HDR issues, right? And those HDR issues are killing it for me. I don't want to install SteamOS if it's not fully supported, so I'm going to be waiting until that full support's there. But it's really, really good news for everybody that likes SteamOS and wants to run that. I personally like Windows, but equally I wouldn't be adverse to running SteamOS alongside it, you know, in a dual boot configuration for all my single player games and stuff, because I do genuinely like SteamOS. It's more performant and it's just easy to use. But I'm waiting for that full support. So those are all the updates, but finally I just wanted to show you something completely separate, and it's about this case, right? Because we've seen this case, loads of people ask me about it all the time. Andy, where'd you get that case from? Where'd you get that case from? I've covered this in a couple of videos now, but there was one thing that was kind of annoying. You might see that it looks a bit different, and that's because I've modified it. I've taken a knife to it and I've cut it up. You know, I've just cut this thing up. What I've done is I've actually just completely sliced that. It's not the prettiest, but I've sliced that off. I've then sliced this top piece off there. The same on that side, just sliced it there, and then I've sliced it around here because I've got the Lenovo Legion Go 2 thumbstick caps on it, you know, from the Lenovo Legion Go, right? And because they fit on this perfectly, but it was rubbing up in the corner there on this grip, and that was really annoying me. And also because I'm taking this in and out of the grip a lot, because I actually like playing tabletop mode, it's quite a difficult case to get on and off. So for me, being able to just lift this up and pull it out like so, now I've got it naked. Essentially, I've got it naked. I can take the Joy-Cons off and actually, you know, use it in tabletop mode or whatever I want, right? And now I can get this on really easily without actually damaging my triggers, because I just push this down, pull it over the top, and there we go. And it still fits in there really well. You can see the top corner there lifts up a bit, but if you've got some 3M double-sided tape, you could just literally put it on the side there and that will hold it down. And the same with the other side. This side's not too bad, but that side lifts a bit, but it really doesn't bother me because at least I can get the case on and off easily without damaging my triggers. Because with the little like corner pieces here, A, it rubs on the corner with these toppers, but B, it was really tight and stiff to get it off. If you're putting the grip on and never removing it, well then just leave it. But for me, I'm always in and out of these cases and stuff, testing stuff. So it was just kind of annoying. I just wanted to show you I did that without removing, like cutting the whole thing up. I just literally cut there and then across here and remove that whole section, and now it's just so much better for me. But anyway, that's enough of that. I hope you all had a good New Year and holiday and all that good stuff, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the Legion Go 2 this year. I am super hyped for SteamOS full support, and then I will finally install that as well. And let me know everything else that you've been doing. Did you get a Legion Go 2 recently or whatever? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget, we've got loads of videos as well on the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.